Today, we're going to look at converting. So today we're going to focus more on how can we actually get these up at bats and make them more meaningful, right? So one of the big things that we often run to is, as far as when you're looking to grow your business, is we're looking to widen the top of funnel, meaning generating more leads. And there's nothing wrong with that per se. However, it's much more expensive to run to the top of funnel and generating brand new business, whether that's running Google ads, YouTube ads, Facebook ads, direct mail, any type of marketing campaign. It's much more expensive to talk to brand new people, make them aware of you, make them trust you, make them like you. So much more expensive to do that rather than work on our skill set, sharpening our sword, in coming up with better strategies in conversations that we're having with our clients, both from the buyer side and seller side. So today we're going to focus more on the buyer side because that's the mastermind that we're in today. But before we go to we'll go right into it. Don't get married to this acronym. I will be changing it. I just haven't had the time to really mind map a better acronym, but the acronym that I've been using that's actually memorable, but I do not like it, is RAT, R-A-T. So don't get married to that acronym. It's one that I've used with all of my landing pages, my sales funnels, it's made me a lot of money, I'll be honest with you. However, it's not one that I'm very proud of. So if you're writing things down, what it looks like is RAT, so RAT. And the top of it means results. The A stands for ask for it. And T stands for testimonial. So that is what I use again in all of my sales copy, whether that's landing pages, whether that is me speaking with a prospective client, regardless if it's a buyer or a seller. But again, we're focus on the buyer side today. That is what I have mentally, as my arsenal, if you will, on my close. This is basically the ending. This is basically the conclusion, right? Of me working with, we're going to focus on the buyer side. It's very easy to switch to the listing side for this analogy, but I'm going to stay on the buyer side. So what this essentially stands for is, again, results, ask for it, testimonial. We're talking conversion, just to reset the room real quick. We're talking conversion. This is what happens at the end. This is the structure that I use once I've really presented a bit more about myself, presented more about the offer, presented more about the value that working with me would look like. So as we get ready for the dismount, as we get ready for the close, as we get ready to essentially bring somebody that was a lead into a client, we bring up results, meaning success that you've had already, right? So if you've had 5 closes in that particular neighborhood, so you know the neighborhood real well, you would bring that up. If you are very knowledgeable and have received awards for sales or whatever results that you want to, hold your hat on or really wave your flag on, that's what you're going to tout there. So what results have you had? Are you, from the buyer side, in the market that we were coming from, multiple offers was a huge thing. Were you very successful in getting an offer accepted? Right? So results can be as big as you want. You've sold 5,000 homes in a year. You could, if that's you, awesome, share that. But the majority of us are not at that level, right? So results could be something as simple. I help buyers get their offers accepted. And I did it with A, B, C, right? So again, just going back to the big picture real quick, we're talking about conversion strategy. We're talking, how do we actually get more people to work with us? And what we're focusing within that category is the end, what I call the dismount. So how is this going to end? How can I get somebody that just called me, that became a lead, somebody that submitted their contact information from a Facebook ad, from a YouTube ad, somebody that's been on my email list for the longest time? This is what's happening at the end in order to actually get them to be a client, right? So we Start off with results. So we're sharing some additional results that we've had in our business. The A, ask for it. Ask for the business. Now we'll talk about strategies, different things, and how to say them in order to actually close the business. But we sometimes miss the obvious, which is asking for that business, right? So if you're working from the buyer side, again, if you're working with doing your buyer presentation, you go through the entire thing. You spend 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, 2 hours with the buyer consultation, but then we don't ask for the business. It's like, well, call me when you're ready. Well, call me when you're ready is basically another way of giving them an out, of just not directing them to the next step. It's not that they don't want to work with you, it's you just didn't give them that next step that makes sense for them to work with you. Does that make sense? So oftentimes we miss our chance. We miss our opportunity. So again, this is a dismount. So we're talking about the acronym RAT. Again, it's going to change. Don't get married to it. But results, we're sharing some results. We're going to ask for the business. When we ask for the business, that's when we start getting typically that's when we start getting the pushback. That's typically when we start getting the objections. That's typically when we start getting the either hard nose or soft nose. So soft nose are basically, oh, we'll think about it. Oh, we're interviewing another agent, right? So all of these things that are happening, all of these soft nose, they can just be in different contexts. They could be pretty soft. We'll just leave it at that. But basically what I'm trying to get to here is asking for the business. That's something that we have to do, right? So one of the simplest ways that you can do it, if you're looking for terminology, I'll go ahead and share with the whole assumed close. You've probably have heard about that in the past. I do a very soft asking for it. So that's just part of my personality type. I'm not as direct as I could be. So this is one that's worked quite well. Are you open to getting started today? Right. So that's even if you wanted to go a little bit harder in the paint and, when you're asking for the business. All right. So you're right. So are you ready to get started today? That's a little bit more forceful. If you want to back off a little bit, are you open to getting started today? Right. So again, we're going to on the dismount. This is a conversion strategy. These are the nuances. We're optimizing the 10 leads that we get a month or the 10,000 leads that we get a month. We're not looking to generate more business. We're looking to optimize the business that we already have. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. We're not looking to get more leads. We're looking to optimize the up at bats that we get right now. Right. So that's what we're talking about right now. So at the dismount, you're sharing some results. You're asking for the business. This is typically when you get that pushback, and you end it with testimonials. Regardless of the outcome, if they say yes, we're ready to go. Awesome. Jenny down the street said the same thing, and she sold for $500,000 more. Or Betty, from my last client, Betty, just was absolutely lost. She'd been on the market for the last 6 months, had 12 offers written up, could not get into one of them, could not get a single offer accepted. A week after, we're under contract, right? And this is what she had to say. This is what he had to say. So we're sharing the testimonials. So that's kind of like a results / testimonials. But what you're doing there is reaffirming or just reassuring the decision that they made, right? So from a testimonials perspective, if you don't have testimonials, this would be a great exercise for you to go through right now in seeking those testimonials in written format. That's fine. But if you can get them into video format, you're not going to lose another listing or a buyer consultation again. If you can get people to vouch for you via video, you're going to win. It's just astronomically higher.